Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Chaz from TheoryGames.com here, and today is update day on Evony. It's 40 minutes past when the update came out. We've not even had an update mail yet, but let me tell you, it is an exciting one, okay? Two things I really want to tell you about. First of all, we have a new defense general. For the first time in a long time, we have a new defense general. Not only that, we have a new civilization set, and the buffs are spicy. Okay, we also have a new ground general and some other tweaks and changes, but who cares about that? Let's have a look at this defense general, okay? I actually recorded this video and I've had to redo it because we've just done the maths on it. Seer over in the C5 Discord, shout out to Seer, has just done the maths on it, and oh my goodness. So Zhao Yu, Chinese defense general, here they are. They are looking very, very good. However, I'm going to pull up the maths here from Discord, if you can see that. Zhao Yu is coming in at number 1, okay, with a combined buff of 3,714%. That is 10% better comparatively, or 300% more really, than Takenaka. So this is actually a huge difference, right? So let's have a look at some of these stats real quick. So here we have siege first of all. Now there is better siege options, but still pretty solid on the solid side of things. Ground, again, there's better ground options, but still pretty solid. Mounted, coming out as the top mounted from this part of the list. Now obviously this isn't the full list, so we're not filtering by mounted. We're filtering by total score. Then moving on to the ranged, again, there's better ranged, but overall very solid. So this is definitely an interesting defense general to be looking at. You know, you're not going to be excelling in particularly one category. I'm even maybe going to say not mounted. I could be wrong there. But very interesting. The reason I'm saying not mounted is because there is a larger sheet, which I'm now looking at on my other screen. I've taken off screen right now. And yeah, Boudica is obviously still rocking the top of that by a long way. But yeah, shout out to Seer for producing that. That was really helpful, so thank you for that. But anyway, so new best defense general, okay? Now, some of the interesting stats, obviously you've got all these good buffs and things like that. But some interesting stats that I wanted to show you is the healing speed plus 10% over here in the Ascension. But then we also have another healing speed plus 5% in the Covenant. Now obviously if you're a Battlefield player, especially high-end Battlefield player, you are going to be flying through those healing speeds. We're in the middle of Chalons right now. Next up we're going to have All-Stars if it follows the usual rhythm. So that's always going to be helpful, those healing speeds, right? So this is the new defense general, super exciting, very exciting. However, pinch of salt, okay? How to get the new defense general is over in the Alliance Carnival. One copy costs 1,200 Swords of Justice, okay? So if you're free to play, totally forget about it. If you are a small coiner, totally forget about it. If you are a medium coiner, yeah, it's gonna be very stingy for you to get. I think somebody done the math and it worked out $500. I've not done the math personally yet because I want to make this video as fast as possible. But it's gonna be very expensive to get one copy, let alone to get the full 16 required for Ascension. So major pinch of salt. Definitely new best defense general. However, it's really only there for the top coiners. But we, like I said, we're in the middle of Chalons right now. We're about to head into All-Stars. This is the perfect time from Evony's perspective to be squeezing your wallets dry. So watch out for that one. Anyway, moving on to the next very exciting piece of news, and then we'll cover all the other kind of less exciting part of the updates. We have a new civilization set. I don't know how to pronounce this. Monsol. I don't know. I'm not very good with the umlauts above letters. Dynasty set, okay? But what's really interesting with this, there is kind of two very interesting things. The first very interesting thing is, look at this, equipped to activate 2/6, attacking siege machine attack 900. That is a flat. We're seeing flat buffs on civilization gear. Crazy. Not only that, if we click on the leg armor, we're going to see siege machine defense flats, and we're going to see siege machine HP flats. Very, very interesting, very exciting in my opinion. I think Evony is potentially hinting towards us using the flats for the T11 siege. Now we will see how gameplay evolves, just like how gameplay evolved when people started using the T1 mounted wall. Despite the fact that flats have been in the game since the very start, it took quite a few years before people caught on to doing that T1 mounted wall. Perhaps this is the push that's required to get us to do that with the small siege. Now, if we head over to the Coronation Fountain, obviously this has been on the new servers for quite a while, but it was more of a recent addition to the older servers, right? Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. So we got the in-rally troop HP flats. Now, obviously this account's not very good that I'm on right now, but again, we're seeing the flat buffs come in there, and this is like a semi-recent update, right? We're seeing the flat buffs come into the civilization gear. I think we're headed in a very, very interesting direction. Now, what's really going to blow your mind, and if you play a top team, if you're a top team player, listen up, because this is literally going to change how you play Chalons this weekend on Sunday, 2 days time. Okay, listen, we're going to go to Star Atlas. Okay, we're going to go to detail, rally capacity plus 20%. This is going to be huge for those top teams who are filling the rallies as they are. You can now unlock an extra 20% rally capacity. So get your wallets ready. They're going to burn because Chalons is in 2 days time, and Evony has just dropped a plus 20% rally capacity buff. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So that's super hype. I mean, not for me. I don't have this level of spending. I can't even afford the defense general, right? Never mind going to be maxing out some Star Atlas civilization gear on the first 8 drops before challenge. So it's not for me. But if you have the money and you have the wallet to do it, then this is a very exciting update for you. I think this is definitely a pro coiner update. It doesn't really seem to be much of a free-to-play friendly update. I know I'm not going to be one of those people who always bash Evony for being pro coiner, because it's the nature of the game, okay? At the end of the day, this game is a business. It's the nature of the game. I think sometimes we do see updates that are quite free-to-play friendly. This is definitely not one of them, though. This is definitely swinging back in the favour of the coiners. Perhaps they're trying to close the gap a little bit with the T1 walls and things like that. You know, a lot of people are kind of saying like it's became free-to-play friendly in the sense of the T1 walls and how everybody's now using them and things like that. Perhaps this is Evony's way of trying to swing the tide back to the coiners and be like, look, here's some more shiny new toys to distract you with. Go get yourself the new civilization gear. Go get yourself the new super duper expensive defense general. Now, actually, if we're going to go look at the new ground general next, this one's not quite as exciting, but, you know, it's a new ground general, so let's go take a little look. So we have Gao Changgong, okay? So this is a ground general. It's okay. I ran the basic numbers, right? So let me pull up my notepad. I've got my notepad on the other monitor. I ran the basic numbers, and this isn't without skill books and pinch of salt. I am trying to do this very, very quickly. But the basic numbers dictate that the ground general so far isn't really super duper crazy, to be honest. What might be interesting is if it can take the March size skill book. That might make things a little bit more interesting. But so far, not the craziest general that I've ever seen. Now, one really interesting thing that Sears pointed out on the Discord is the use as a defense general. It actually ranks in number 10 right now in defense generals in terms of total buffs, which is very, very interesting, I think. Now, obviously, the nature of it has a massive ground score. It's got 430% like total buffs as a defense general. Now let's have a little look on this. So we've got some pretty standard buffs here. March size capacity plus 8% on when you hit that 10th star. Nothing too super duper fancy going on here. Again, we're going to see another March size capacity plus 8%. So what we at so far, so that's 16. And then down here, we have another one plus 6%. So that's going to be a 22% March size increase. That's before we start talking about skill books and things like that. So we have Wei Xing.
and then Yufei, and then Cheng is going to be the Covenants. And just quickly, actually, I'm going to run over the Covenants for the new Defense General. So we have Sun Si, Lu, Xuan, and Zhang Fi. Sorry if I'm butchering those names. And that's going to be the Covenant Generals to go alongside this. Now, a couple other things that I want to talk about real quick. Okay, a little side note, there's this like hot PC client, so if you play on the PC, it's going to reward you and things like that. No, you actually have this pack that's 140%. It costs $10. However, if we go to buy it, we can actually use a triple on it, so it technically makes the pack one of the best value in the game, potentially the best value in the game, because you can use a triple on a 140,000% return. Now in here we've got 75,000 gems, some bits and bobs. Have a look at it if you want. You know, obviously at the end of the day, it's only a $10 pack. It's not really going to change the world, but I just thought that's an interesting talking point, right? But anyway, let's go on to what I actually wanted to talk about. So if we go and have a look in King's Party, we can see we've got Helena. She's going to be back in there at Cake 10, obviously the Holy Palace officer. So just to make you aware of that. The one thing that I do want to show you as well is they have changed the event menu. Now, obviously, you actually saw this whilst I was showing you the Alliance Carnival, but I just thought I'd actually point it out. They've changed the event menu. Looks a little bit cooler, I think. And now one interesting thing that they have also done is, let me find it, because everything is now moved. So give me a second. Oh, Crazy Eggs right at the top. Okay, so Crazy Eggs has changed slightly, for the better. So we still got the same rewards and stuff like that. We can still open eggs like this, okay? So let's go ahead and open. The wait times are still the same. Personally, not a big fan of like how it looks now though. Not really the best in my opinion. Okay, so now we've cracked all the eggs, right? We can actually use this lucky hammer, I think it's called, once per day. So once per day we can use it and it'll basically bypass the cooldown, which is amazing because sometimes you really struggle to finish your lucky eggs if you're just having one of those days, or perhaps you've been busy, you're not running your bot or whatever, and you can't finish your eggs. You can actually now use, so it's called the lucky hammer to smash an egg in cooldown, and you get it once for free every single day. So it's a nice update from Evony, to be fair. This is, you know, a little bit free to play friendly, I would suppose. Now cracked on second time. Just because you use this hammer, I'm not too sure if it means it will definitely crack every time or not. Used to smash the egg. Okay, so if it's gonna smash the egg... Okay, so it doesn't differentiate from the normal hammer. So jury's still out on whether it will like automatically activate the egg or whether it will just act like a normal one. Not too sure about that because this actually came into the game late last night. So I already had one run through this and the exact same thing happened. It totally activated the egg. However, I can't say for certain yet because I've only done it twice now. You know, it's not enough data to actually give a verdict on that. But interesting, so have a little look out for that. That could be, you know, maybe you want to avoid using the lucky egg for as long as possible and smash it on the last one if it is always activating. But we just don't know yet, not enough information there. That's all of the Evony updates so far that I have seen. Again, we haven't actually had an announcement mail yet, just checking, still no announcement mail. So if that does come out, obviously have a look. There might be some things that we missed. Obviously, I've just been clicking around everywhere, here, there, and everywhere, trying to find what has potentially changed. That's all the changes that I'm seeing so far. So yeah, super exciting. New Defense General, new Best Defense General, and new Civilization gear, which is going to change, definitely change the way that rally sizes work now, 100%. And it's potentially going to change those small siege rallies. So super exciting update for you coiners out there. So happy spending. For the fellow free to play, because I don't really spend at all anymore these days. Yeah, better luck next time, I guess, guys. Keep on filling for those big keeps. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the battlefield.